behind you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Those that don't know, oh, not happening down. He's over on the river. So happy to have a full board again. Well, and we're pleased also to have faces that all of us in the bottom of first item of this, do we have any public comments, please, Stacy?
No, we do not.
No comments. Please. And, do we have any thoughts on Zoom?
Yes, we do. We have a couple.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. It's good. They must be shy today.
I'm Will Perky. No, the minutes of the last meeting of July 14th. I had a nice. Robert? Put it on. Hey, that's what the. All right, yeah, I got my name. Where? Yeah.
I will fix that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, will do. Terrible. Yes.
No, I wrote on mine. Good job, Stacy. You did a beautiful job of following what I like. Right.
Thank you.
That presentation of Roger's family. So make that motion. Yeah, that's okay. Over. Ed B makes the motion.
Nice.
Anyway, any more discussion? Unique head. Unique head, is that good? Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. 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 All right, now we'll move on down to our first bullet point. Is the discussion possible action on various request in Pitkin Hotel, 320 Main Street, replacement of the sign. And I see we have a table there in the audience. Anything, Bob, if anyone wants to share before we jump into this? think that's. We have a very quick on the bullet board. I see no reason really to kill dog except I appreciate Bob following through and getting the information I asked for. Bob, the only question I have is in your request for variance, you have a 4x6 sign, and in your recommendation that we're actually 3x6. You know which one it is? That's correct. So it's 3. All right. Yeah.
I'm curious why the state thing is going to go on. And
Yes. That's good. Hello. Hello. You're there.
Well, thank you for the comment.
Yeah, real close to that mic.
Thank you, Roger, for the beat. So. So the sign, I don't know if you see that picture, the diagram I wrote on there, but the sign wouldn't be able to be read by passing cars if it was set back on the inside of that wall. The stone wall that we have. If you put it on that side, you couldn't read it from coming down until the very end and coming up till the very end. Due to, various structures in the way. So that's kind of why we wanted to prove it out there just a little bit. It's only going to come 6 feet out from the wall. And the wall is where the property line is. So it's gonna come out 6 feet there, right next to the corner where Chuck was and our property is. So, to answer your question, the reason is because it could be a lack of visibility for oncoming traffic. No, the sign is gonna be this way. The oncoming traffic and it's gonna be on the other side of the ditch. Our side of the ditch. So it's not gonna be close to the street. It'll be probably at least 12 feet from the actual road itself. So there should be adequate room for the snow plows to push the snow in there without affecting that.
is it going to affect your parking?
No,
Oh,
not at all. Not one bit.
So do we have the measurement from the property line to the edge of that store?
I went down and measured the edge of the ditch, on the outside of the ditch to the walls, 7 feet.
And that thing will be probably at least 4 or 5 feet from the ditch. Yes. So we still.
Full 6 feet, my measurement is 5 foot between the edge of the ditch.
Sign. And yeah, and how about from the edge of the ditch to the road?
I didn't measure it. I just was wanting my contraction to be able to get between the ditch and the sign, and I need 5 foot.
Well, you're doing no, that's not you. It's the county doing that.
Yes.
How much does that snow push? Does it push? How far is it pushed to the other side of the ditch? Do you know?
Well, it goes over the top of the ditch. But now they got 13, 14. So it just depends on the drive, how well he can see or not.
Bill told me that he got a good footer in there, so it was an issue.
Now, can you tell me where the end of the culvert is in relation to the new sign that you're requesting?
I'm sorry.
The downstream end of your culvert, how far is it from the sign? Cause it's upstream, isn't
I'm confused.
it? Is the bottom end of your culvert? How far is it from the property line between you and Mr. Wall?
I think it's like 10 feet, pretty close to that. So it would come out 6 of that 10, so that would leave 4 feet between the ditch and the south end of the sign, southwest end of the sign.
Alright. Anyone got any more questions, Bob?
I have one thing. Have you heard any concerns with your neighbors?
No,
Walls and anything about-
I'll let him know that, he said he had no problem with it. He's given me, variance, before on the side setback for the, stage complex that we built. He's very amicable with that. It's not gonna affect anything on his property. It'll be won't even be on his property either, and it won't affect any parking or anything visibility with him.
Where do I do that?
Be a 4x4 post on each side with, 2x4s for the framing, and the sign is double sided. So,
Well, I was asking about, in reference to the zoning code. There's two different types of the,
oh, what are the options?
well, outdoor business signs, advertising devices on premises. So I'm assuming it's not gonna be, it's on your premises, right? Part of it.
Yes. Well, actually, no.
Roger, would you send my diagram back this way, please? Oh, Roger never did. Wait.
So part of the issue I see there, Eddie, is outdoor business signs or advertising devices are on premises. So that's when the sign is 100% on the. The issue we're getting into is that it's gonna be half on the property and half off the property, half on town property. That puts us into a type D sign, which is in business district only. But signs must be located on private property, not within the town. So that's really, I guess, the reason for the variance. Because it's gonna be on town property, falls into D, which then makes maximum size of the sign square, 5 square feet per sign. If you're doing 4x3, then we're over on the size of the sign as well. Just keep, and that your question, answer your question.
With that, have you already ordered the sign? Is it complete?
Well, the sign is made currently, and as a matter of fact, it's sitting right across the street. Yes, three, you may have seen it.
On property.
You know. We're just holding it here temporarily.
So I do, and here's my concern. is all of Main Street is a zero setback for all of Main. We do have a couple of buildings, like the post office and the hotel, that the Board of Trustees did grant variances to put porches out to the out into the town, right, beyond the zero setback. So now, those cases were into a negative setback. I think the board members could, at least I could justify it because it was a porch covering in a nice porch area, and same thing for the post office. It concerns me going forward, the precedents we're gonna set all the way up and down Main Street. Going beyond the zero setback, even something as little as signs, and that's a big concern. Because we could have sign requests coming in left and right, off and out in Maine all along. That's one big concern I have. Another big concern that I have is last year, even though it was a small snow year, I saw 2 metal post signs blown down by the snowplow as he comes down State Street and took the metal signs out. And those signs are more than 15 feet from the ocean. So that concerns me that sooner rather than later, the sign will probably be taken out. Not on purpose, but the snowplow sometimes is moving down Main or State Street and throws the snow quite a bit. So that's a big concern that I think they're gonna lose it. And even though it's in town property, I don't think the town should be responsible for that. So I have a couple of, I think, major concerns with it. The snow plowing setting precedents. We already have a zero setback. Now we're going a negative setback on even signs. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
So you don't wanna upset any issues with town. So we'll work with whatever we can to.
But I do that too. But looking at the drawing for the rock wall. And it's. What if, so put a sign on your property, well, it's all posts. Because the ordinance on signs actually, not that I recommend it, actually says you go the height of the building. So you could go with a fairly tall, couple of posts, and put the sign up high. Not to where airplanes have to go when they come.
So you just basically talking about this on the inside of the
On
fence.
on the inside of the city.
This corner there.
Southwest corner, yeah.
It's to go over that to it'd be on your property. You'd actually fit under the C outdoor sign then you go up to maximum 50 square feet. But then you put it high enough, I don't know how to get it, it's like a double sided.
It is double.
So even if you put up there. Like people come and go on either way, so see it. And I made it deal what you're thinking or what you wanted. But it's like.
You guys agree that maybe it's not the best placement for it? You know, we don't wanna upset any.
I'm just one person speaking.
Well, that was my $64 question for you. If there's a possibility of putting the post closest to the street, right inside the wall and right inside the fence, shut wall, and then the second post towards the alley from that one and up above the fence. That was my proposal. That might work. I would appreciate it if that would be.
Yeah, again, I don't wanna, you know. And laws and everything, we sure don't upset any of those and we'll do whatever we can to, you know, accomplish our goal and the city's request.
I believe the answer is simple question. Where it is, and it keeps it on your own property, but high enough that people can sure see it. After reading through your request and the, permit that you filed with Tom, that was my answer. Are you, he's already paid the permit fee for this request for a sign?
Is there anything written on there?
Not that I see. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they
I did all about it, he said, wait till the.
Okay, because as far as I'm concerned, had he already paid that fee, would have applied to the adjustment. But I would like for you to resubmit it as Ed and I have pointed out to you.
Do I need to resubmit another, if I put the sign on our property?
Not with this building permit that's on your property.
So I can just put a sign up and.
No, it still takes a building.
Oh,
It still takes a permit, a signed permit, and which will go through Tom. It's basically what you have right here, except the location has changed.
still need to go for the building for this, or can we, well, can we do can.
What we visited here tonight is Roger Johnson, you property to have no problems.
That
No. We signed on.
Can we advertise for a brothel? I just can't do it. And give it to Tom, the approval will be automatic, or?
Well, he'll bring it to the board and fine also. But to
Take a meeting.
You literally.
how long?
No.
Stop.
Okay. I'm satisfied with that, thank you.
Just for that. It's a.
So is there a setback issue if I put it on my property, is it?
No, because on Main Street, you have zero.
Okay.
So you can be right up to your wall.
While we're talking right now, I don't know if you guys notice, we put those two big logs between the opening, we put tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going horizontally across with it, and we're gonna hang a sign, just like an old school sign hanging down below the top of that horizontal beam. Is that something that I need to file a permit for, or?
I think you could do both signs on one. To put both. You know.
Yeah, appreciate it. No. Appreciate the opportunity to make a request, and hopefully my next request at some point will continue to.
We appreciate cooperating.
Did you say you were done?
Yeah, I did, but
The one I would like to that we have involved this.
This is it, I'll make a motion that we recommend move the sign with that. That's something this. Stacy got that piece, I think I have to repeat it.
I got it. I'm also recording.
okay, Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments before we start on this? Not all those in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And thanks for supporting me. All right, moving on down to the request on the Parker driveway entrance. You want to put that up there on the board again, please, Ed?
Draw. Good draw, or you want?
That's fine.
We're all in one. Don't be like this today. We'll soon.
Before we jump into this, I want to read a letter that I got from Patrick Parker. And it says, on this date, August 11th, Patrick A. and Mary Parker take permission to go on behalf of any and all disputes concerned with our property that we own in Pitkin, Colorado. Accept this document in our absence as Phil Deutsch has agreed to represent our interests. Thank you, Phil. And I have the variance request here, not knowing what to file it under. We filled out a variance request form, and all of the board members have a copy of that.
Yes.
The unique thing that, if I can put my 2 cents in to start with, I think this is a true technicality. Trying to what I see, I don't know. Anyway, we walked it, looked it over, the pins and everything, the right of way, the edge of the city, the current driveway that accommodates the old Parker place that's on 12th Street. And my knee reaction is to open up the top end of that culvert and put a 20-foot joint onto that in the ditch going upstream. Leave all the culverts that we possibly can that's there now, leave it as is. Will's going to give us some more enlightenment.
So the additional culvert would all be on county road. So that would be something I would take care of and tie on to the other culverts.
Right.
This is a weird situation because even if you guys say it's okay to keep going through that area, and then the board of trustees says it's okay, the county might say, no, you gotta move it.
You know, basically it's a technicality to keep their nose clean of the desk.
Yeah, but the county told me if you guys were agreeable, they told me this last year, that they would think about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't think about it.
Or you want to share something, Tom?
When it comes time for.
More discussion? Okay. Does our board have any more questions for Bill?
Bill, what is the offset in feet offset from where it is existing now? Where it's proposed, there's no measurement here,
Another 20 feet upstream.
20 feet.
Right? Another 20 feet.
Yeah, it's not actually gonna move that far. I had a hard time drawing that off the survey and then what's in reality, because I'm not a surveyor and I don't have the equipment. So I think if we were gonna move it, we would have to pull both of the big posts out and probably move them both about 10 feet up valley.
That's a whole different problem, not related to the town of Pitkin.
Yes. Yes, it's not really.
What are you doing, Ed?
If we're done with this picture, I'm gonna back out of this for a second. And just to show. Pull up the county assessor's site. That's not. I pulled off the county assessor's site, the overhead picture, so we can kind of see the area. And this isn't 100% accurate, but.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is the piece of the little triangle, that's the town property. And the drive. Okay, let's see where the drive comes in right across here. So it's a minimal piece of property that they're actually going across as far as town is concerned. And that's the little triangle that belongs to the towns. My thought on it is that they're not asking for us to vacate the property, for the town to vacate it. They're only asking for permission to cross the property. Very much so would on State Street. So. It's not a variance, it's not a street vacation. It's a simple letter, I believe, if the town decides that they want to give a letter for access across.
And I think the county's proposal or desire is the driveway perpendicular to, it's not 76, but the street is 55, which is a state street. So it's a county deal, and I'm having to jump through the hoop and give Phil and the Parkers to go ahead to put an extension on it that's out in the county right away anyway.
Yes. You guys agree to change it when they pave it all the way to the campground, is that correct?
Sure.
All right. I think we got a deal.
That sounds like a barter system to me.
Needs the port from the plume to campground. Needs to be paid. Ask anybody living.
Yeah. I would entertain a motion for us to accept Phil's proposal to add the 20-foot upstream in the county right of way to our existing culvert.
I will add, it has to be a recommendation for the Scotstown property. It will be a recommendation. Board of trustees will have to have it.
Okay, Stacy, you got us two put together for one motion?
Yes.
Before I second it, I'd like for her to read it back.
Ooh,
So we've got.
okay. Part of that I'm gonna add in when I look back over the video because I don't want to miss anything. Sorry, my place. All right, guys. So what I have. Oh, you know what? I basically don't have anything. I was gonna just add it in from the video so I didn't mess it up. I just have superfluous details. Like who said it? I'm so sorry.
First of all, we have two properties that are each other. One is county and been for a while has been the access to property. That Bill was talking. And the request to the county, I think think it would be valuable to know how long that access. Of course, property is. He said,
The story that's the story that is part of 12.
yeah, we have crossing the property because you have. It has been the access, or and then how long that's been, I think it's been quite a long time because I don't know. That's 12 years.
Oh, no, it's been decades.
That's my point on this, so. I think that in and of itself, that this. Yeah. No controversy over this access ever until you guys brought it up. Yeah. And I think that will carry a little bit of weight.
And the beautiful part, the part that we're concerned about is in 12th Street. So I think we're in fantastic shape.
Yes, and the current location of the street going out of town is all on the county. It bends that way because they wanted it to. It was not platted that way on our map. They just didn't want to, make a curvy road before you get to the kids' station. The original road actually went above Parker's property. Right down where it went there. But anyway, I don't know if it was properly ever vacated. The town still claims that roadway. And that's the property we're talking about. It's where the road is platted. It was vacated to where it is now. And not all that many years ago, the people across the road got the road, it's all chopped up. That would be on this side of that side. Were given, they were given part of the alleyways to compensate them, so square footage wise, they would still have building lots. All that was done about 30 some odd years ago, so that road could remain where it is. But the other side, where we're talking about, it's still now town property, and what is it, a park, what, we don't know. It's a street that is. Yeah, I don't think we can stop them from using it if we wanted to. I think they are attorney, just say, what is that?
Roger.
Yeah.
Over here. You bring up an interesting point, and now Don, what you said, I think. And this is State Street that was platted right here. And you said that the county wanted to curve the road.
Yeah.
Come down here, so that makes sense, the state was up here, 12th was here, are these the two properties that were swapped?
No, it's the ones on the other side of the road that lost ground to that curve. No, not on that side, on the other side, it's right in there,
All right, okay.
yeah.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, Chad Parnell owns now that Chris Candy used to have, that the existing State Street was added to their property basically off of 12th Street. That's correct?
Something like that.
Yeah.
One on the end down there.
I don't know where you find any document that supports.
We not go all into that. It did one time. That out into those property because they got chopped off.
To me the other day, there's a vacant tree that goes through that Parker property that looks like definitely was the old road bed back when.
Yeah.
Now then, Ed Pianotto, while we're discussing, I've made notes as to a motion and see if this fits your. Ed Pianotto moved to recommend to the trustees to leave the existing culvert as is and then add 20 foot of the same size culvert upstream, which is in the county.
Yes, and then just that's a recommendation
To the trustees
to the trustee.
in the motion.
The culvert is, at the expense of the Parkers or the county. I mean, it's not our property.
I thought that was understood, but we can definitely, if Ed wants that, it's not been seconded yet.
Let's clarify that for the forward. Is a responsibility of either the county. But the town, but right.
All right, do I hear a second to this motion?
I second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye, 100%. All right, discuss with possible action on zoning code proposal revisions. Building code version.
Is there anything specific in the zoning code that needs to be addressed or revision at this time?
if in the zoning code for building codes, is
So we have some proposals to add to the zoning code, is that what we're talking about?
well, we have revisions to the zoning code, but this is specifically for trying to determine which building code version we incorporate in the zoning code. Right now, the zoning code, there's two issues with the current zoning code. One is that states will just use international residential building codes, but not which version. And we have an ordinance that dates back to '02, I believe, that says we use the 1997 UBC code. And from what I'm hearing from CNL and from the state, the pickle that we might get in, that I don't think we want to get in, has to do really with the energy code that we've got to adopt by June 1st of next year. And part of that House bill that they passed in 22 states that if a municipality updates a building code, they must, after June 1st of 2026, they must update to the low carbon footprint energy code. My personal concern from what I've heard and looking stuff on CML is that if the state were to pass a bill to require that everybody goes to a minimum building code, and they do that after June 1st of next year, then we would be stuck going with the low energy code. And the low carbon energy code is so complex that in September, they're going to release what the requirements are for that energy code. But they've already put out the safeguard that says that it is a low carbon energy code that will be all electric. There will be no gas, no propane, no wood. as a town, I don't, my feeling, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but my feeling is, I don't think we want to get caught where we're still at 97 UBC code. And sometime after June 1st, they pass the bill next year. They pass the bill that says, well, you've got to be at a minimum of 2015, 2018, or you have to upgrade to the later building code. Then we will be forced to jump right into the 2026 energy code.
Now, Ed, after you saying this, will you share with us on the board about the 18 versus 19 codes that you pulled up and have ready to post?
So, yeah, I will. It's what I have is the 2015 building codes comparison to 2018. Which I'm more than happy to share. I don't know if anybody else has researched it. This is the book from 2012 and 15. It looks way worse than what it actually is, because there's a lot more than what the thing does. But I did find a pretty simple, straightforward here. It shows 15 to 18. I might add, I'm going to talk about it a little bit today too. Most residential houses or commercial buildings, Pitkin right now, are engineered. Most engineers are ready to go into 21. I'm saying that's the requirement we should take, but that's what they're designing to. But I think as we've talked about the building code and the zone code in the past, is we want to try to keep it simple and affordable and fit to build stuff. Unfortunately, the state is, I think, so, I mean, I'll just say I'm not a proponent of jumping to 21 building codes. Don't know if 15 or 18 would be better, but I think closer we get to 18 and 21, the more we need to be say, should they require us to do. That's kind of a summary overview since I've been involved in pretty heavily.
And while Ed's pulling that up, we visited with Bill. Are you still here, Bill?
Oh, yeah, you're hiding behind that little guy.
Which ones are you primarily functioning with today and what? So the 2018, in the past, my feelings, I wanted to push for 2018 is, so if I want to build my own home up here, not having it engineered, I still go by the 18. And how more lenient is it than 21? 15 and 18 are the only two I've really been looking at, and so with what Ed shared about 21 and just saying, now you're using 21.
That's a loaded question. The county picks and chooses which part of 21 they're really gonna enforce. So it doesn't seem to be, except for energy code, that it got that much more stringent. But 21 is definitely
More strange.
yeah, higher insulation value.
All right, Ed, you ready to talk to us?
I don't know if anybody can read that. Not as big as I can get it. That's good. So I may abbreviate some of this, so tell me if I'm abbreviating too much. Just talking, so you can see over here the 18 on the left and the 15, and then the description of the change is just that. What the difference is in between 15 to 18. First one is just the scope. Really nothing I would say the scope has changed. Change of occupancy been added, and requirement for certificate of occupancy when there is a change of occupancy or a change of use has been defined. So even in 15 requires a certificate of occupancy, but 18 says that if there's a change in use, you gotta have a receipt. Climatic and geographic design criteria. They're using a modification table. Don't know how much of that's gonna apply here. Seismic design category. Again, I think that may not be a huge concern here. Exterior walls. Determining fire resistance rating of exterior wall assemblies. Table footnotes been revised to clarify correlation between gable fits and fire resistance requirements and projections. So not huge changes on exterior walls. Townhouse separation. I don't know if that pertains to us. Townhouse and all that. Fire protection of floors above crawl spaces. So fire resistant membrane protection now required for applicable floor framing materials above crawl spaces containing fuel fired or electric powered heating appliances. Glazing adjacent to doors. So glazing within 24 inches of the inside of an in-swinging door requires safety glazing with glazing with an angle less than 180 feet from the plane. Glazing in guards and railings. I'm gonna read through the titles. Tell me if you want me to read what has actually changed. Glazing adjacent to the bottom stair landing. Emergency escape and rescue openings. That one, no, I guess it could pertain here. Emergency escape and rescue openings are no longer required for bedrooms and basements when the dwelling unit is protected with an automatic fire extinguisher. Hopefully, we don't have to do that. Area wells for emergency escape and rescue doors. There's just change in terminology. Replacing bulkhead enclosures or area. That's changed. Handrail projection. New exception to the handrail projection limitations provides for adequate clearance behind the handrail when passes the projection of a floor, landing, or trip. Maximum stair rise between landings increased from 4 inches. Maximum rise to apply to stairs is increased by 4 inches from 147 to 151. Yes. Alternating tread devices, shift ladders, guards. Guard requirements only apply to specific portion of a walking surface that exceeds 30 inches above grade. Smoke alarms and carbon monoxide. In 15, there was an exception for interconnection of alarms. That has been removed from the code, so. And that's, I'm sorry, that's during alteration, so remodeling. Would now require interconnection of smoke alarms.
While you're on that one, Ed, my home was built in 2000, all tied together here.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as a simple plot. Thank you. Go ahead.
So what the change was, is that if you did any remodeling alterations, if it wasn't already interconnected, you don't have to upgrade it. Now, under 18, if you have alterations or remodeling, you do. But even the older ones are usually you get back and so. The next one, I don't think we have to worry about coastal high hazard flood zones. Roof access for voltaic solar energy systems. So that adds roof requirements for roof access and pathways for firefighters have been introduced in the IRC provisions for rooftop mounted photovoltaic solar energy systems. Solar panels near emergency escape and rescue openings. Rooftop mounted solar panels are not to be installed below emergency escape and rescue. Mezzanine area limitation. Area limitation for mezzanine has been increased 1/3, 1/2 of the area of the mezzanine circuit. Habitable attics. The definition of habitable attics has been revised. The technical requirements have been placed with mezzanine. Insulation requirements, cross protection footings, protected footings. Minimum R value for specific types of extruded polystyrene has been clarified, while requirements for horizontal insulation were added. Crushing stone footings. The table's been updated to include both the minimum depth and width of crushed stone footing for a precast concrete wall. Unvented crawl space, ventilation of other floor space is not required when adequately sized dehumidifier is provided. Actually made that one a little bit easier. Depths, they just reorganized section on 507. Ease of use and additional provisions to make it easier. Deck material requirements, fasteners, fastener connections, flashing off kind material. Deck footings, new section on footing minimum size is added to help describe minimum prescriptive, non-engineered requirements. Exterior deck footing based on snow load, soil quality, and footing shape and size. Deck joists clarified in the table. Decking vertical lateral support. With decking material options, fastener systems are clarified. Vertical and horizontal support of the exterior deck is updated, while support attachment of letters is added to the deck. Alternate stud height basically goes new table, which applies to 11 and 12 foot walls and 1 and 2 story wall. We did not have anything over 8 feet in 97. Girder and header spans updated, assuming number 2 southern pine rather than number 1 southern pine. So the better chart if you're using number 2. Support for headers. The table increases the number of king studs in higher wind regions, requires only 1 or 2 king studs each end of the header regions with 150 mile per hour. Seismic adjustment factors, mixed racing methods. Kind of added more method, basing, cheating, walls. Cold form steel wall construction. Bill, have you ever done a cold form steel wall construction? Water resistant barrier. Material other than number 15 asphalt felt must be installed following manufactured installation instruction. Exemption for detached accessory buildings is deleted. Soffit installation requirements for wood structural panel soffits and vinyl soffit requirements are clarified. Veneer anchors through insulation with masonry veneer. Vinyl siding installation of a foam plastic sheeting. How to install it. Roof framing. Only divided this section up into 3 sections: roof ridges, rafters, and ceiling joists to help clarify. Labeling, each stick of fire retardant treated lumber and individual wood structural panel will be labeled with 8 specific items of information. Minimum vent area. Building integrated photovoltaic panels. They added a new section for that. Chimney installation shield. So factory built chimneys, which have been required to maintain the minimum clearance to insulation, are now required to have an insulation shield to provide clearance to the insulation. Building thermal envelope for wall columns. Log homes are now exempt from the prescriptive building thermal envelope requirements when designed in accordance with the ICC 400. Reduction of ceiling insulation. Applying an exception for insulation ceilings without attics, insulation must extend to the outside of the top. Walls, an itemized list for accuracy, for technical requirements. Testing for air leakage, a new standard for air leakage testing is now referenced in the IRC to provide flexibility for the testing industry. Ducts buried within ceiling insulation. New provisions address minimum coverage requirements, total benefits for ducts buried within ceiling insulation. When these ducts are considered inside the building. Lighting required percentage of permanent lighting fixtures having high efficiency lamps is increased from 70 to 90%. Maximum energy rating index based on energy increase. See that with the 2020. Access to furnaces within compartments. Appliances installed in pits. Dryer exhaust duct termination. Minimum area of 12.5 square inches has been established with a terminal outlet of dryer duct exhaust. Steel dryer exhaust ducts. Makeup air for kitchen exhaust systems. Underground duct systems. They're encased in concrete require sealing and testing. Pressure test for hydraulic piping. Compressed air testing affects piping is now testing with manufacturer's instructions. Thermal barrier for rating for heating systems. Section M21.3.2 and a reference to the energy provision calculation. Prohibited application for appliances. A gas-fired clothes iron is now allowed to be installed in the bathroom and toilet room. Permanent opening communicates with other permitted space. Electrical line of CSST. Schedule 10 steel gas piping. I'll schedule 10 steel gas plant. Shut off valve location. Or shut off valve and forced air furnace duct size. They've been deleted in favor of undersizing methods specifically in plants. Commercial cooking appliances now permitted in dwelling units installed according to the design and manufacturing instructions. Air testing of pipe piping is now allowed in accordance with manufacturer's instructions. Connections to public sewer or private sewage disposal system. The IPSDC is referenced for installation of private sewage disposal system. Play the local farm. Network connections. Permitted anywhere between fixture outlet, drainage piping, and are no longer limited to the traffic like out in the truck seat. But overflow outlets are no longer required. Plastic pan for gas fired water heaters are no longer. Backflow protection for fire sprinkler systems, water hammer arresters. Now requires a quick closure valve. Sound taxes for water distribution pipe are no longer permitted on water distribution system. Joints between PVC and CPVC. Single column cement is now acceptable. Prohibited joints for sanitary drainage, reduction in pipe size. vent piping terminations. Have been added to allow a 2-inch vent extension to float rate when the vent is covered. Combination waste and vent systems. Food waste disposal, 3,000 now permitted to connect the combination waste and vent system. Not to the vent system. Prohibited installation for air admittance valves. Are allowed. Garage branch circuit. Branch to fall under, there's a separate 20-amp branch circuit. Now required to serve the circuit line, which is attached garages, and detached garages with the. The electrical part here, I'm gonna skip because then all the NEC codes you can call in the state of Colorado. See. And the last thing is the section title is tiny houses. It's now just defined as dwellings with a maximum floor area of 400 square feet. So that's the change.
See why we have a certified engineer draw a blueprint. Why does the government use to just through? But for the half of the tenant, the Pitkin, and anybody that wants to build their own home, I hate to get past the 2018. And build using any reason why we should go to 21 over 18 and the other.
Do it, let's stick with 20. Still a state makes.
Right. For the electric, I appreciate that. Any more discussion from this board?
What's the minimal year we can adopt? 2015, the earliest we can adopt.
It's right now, it's not stipulated by the state as to what version we would have to adopt. We've just seen this, the state of Colorado in the last several years make some pretty big leaps on energy codes, on what else does the presidential buoy code. Wait for this last bill for the end. We're locked in, we have to adopt 2021 energy code by June 1st of next year, or we will have to go 2026, 2024 hourly low carbon energy code. There's just some, it's doing, should about the article with that to see how there's some concern that they may push or build code because how late on the planet. And I think we were at 97. We made it well.
Any public comment?
What do you say?
Yes.
I think for, now, let's say a little bit more. I think for a long time, when we've been going through the zoning code, I think everybody's been pretty good support to leave it at 97 as long as we could. No, I went back and rewrote that bill and I thought we made a mistake. And it states if you update your building code after late. So that's.
Yeah, I think that's foolish and I don't want to get the cart in front of the horse, but I sure don't want to wait until May of 26 to try to start figuring this out. During I'm pushing here now to possibly get some recommendations how we want to go.
So I'll just add as far as for the board in the zoning code. The zoning code is an ordinance. So once the zoning board makes a recommendation on the zoning code and what's included with it, And then we'll have to go to the board of trustees. Have to post it for a public hearing. Hold a public hearing on it. And then vote. So we're looking at possibly 3 months of being able to adopt. So my recommendation from the board of trustees is we try to wrap up the zoning code revision, the building code version, as soon as we possibly can, because the board of trustees might have some questions and may want to kick some of it back to the zoning.
Well, and one of the things that our trustees need to look at is a recommendation from the companies that we don't have it today. So if we can get a recommendation from the zoning board to the trustees as early as possible, gives the trustees a lot more work to do.
What I guess I'll make a recommendation. But I know Josh knew on the zoning board now, he may not have been able to look at this place. Or the revision to something.
Yeah, he just done it tonight.
Yeah. Well, he just got
He done this.
Yes.
Wow. There, I think I'm probably too. But all the revision the pilot is well on. So you can have to find the, use that as well, everybody. But I think that's a good, decide, maybe tonight. And let's take the next month. Let's take the September to review the code revision. Try to make a determination on. So we start on these.
All of the judgments we made to the zoning code printed in February 10th of 25, correct?
That is,
Yes. And you should have it.
Yes.
So. Get that. Get the point two.
I just gave him the 22 booklet there. Absolutely.
or you just want to have Stacy. Anyway, the February.
Yeah. So basically, Roger, you have the 25. This is all.
Okay.
When you're talking about, yeah. The higher the that the better. We're in a regional community. 9 months out of the year, they just leave the heat on. Why turn it off? Why, drain my pipes? Why go to all that trouble? They use more energy with that, they're never there. Whereas, minimal, sensible amount of energy in the place, it's still acceptable. But it requires them to, winterize them. Off, whatever. Yeah. When they come up at Christmas or vacation, they get off. All the super insulated homes are. They never bothered to turn the heat off or hot water again. So you use more energy, in order to save some water.
Well, I'm definitely.
I could no more than what the differences are between 15 and 18. I'd recommend going with 18, so we're closer to 20. Basically, say you gotta be. That's my argument.
I believe 18 shows we're trying to be good stewards.
And that's a good point, Jesse, because the county made a statement that they wanted to show the state that they were trying, so they went to 21. So,
I think 21 is a pretty good leap from 97.
the success.
And if Phil can live with 18, I think the test kids. Do I want to hear a motion from my board up here to make a recommendation to the trustees to be leaning hard on the 2018 code?
I'll make that.
This is it. I'll second.
I'm not near as fast as shorthand as Stacy is, so. All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion on it? Not all those in favor say yes.
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 Yes, 100% in favor of making the recommendation to the Board of Trustees to highly consider the 2018 code.
So Stacy.
Pardon?
Yes.
Stacy, before you send out the update for the February, go ahead and update it in there that we. I would put the update.
You can go ahead and include that with the rest of the revision.
Yeah, include that in the revision. It's under appendix A. Appendix A. So appendix A right now reads foundation for number 1 and 3 is I would recommend combining those two. The International Residential Code version 2018. They include section all construction. Take out foundation. Because you still have electrical shaded blocks. And then we will probably have to add, write it down, but adding the 2021. Actually, probably put that in. We don't want to adopt the zoning until. Late version.
I'm happy on that one, and my understanding, we'd like to table the review of the zoning code revisions until the September. Would somebody like to make a motion to table this, please?
I'll make that.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor say yes.
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 Yes. 100%. Line passed. All right, jumping down into old business now, discuss updates to building permits, spreadsheet, and review any new permits or closed permits, along with permits that are beyond 2 years old that require an update letter from the property owner.
I had updated that spreadsheet after our last board of trustees meeting. And I think I emailed that out to everyone then. And I imagine pretty certain next Monday in the commissioner reports, Tom will update if there's anything newer than what's on it. I think we're typically running about a month behind. For the most part, we've looked at 1, 2, 3, 4 properties that are still, excuse me, 4 buildings that are still open. And I guess that was something else I can read.
I have 8 questions for Tom.
Okay.
Was there a building permit issued for the deck or the front porch on the Kramer residence, the old assay office?
315 Main.
Do what?
315 Main.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. It hasn't all been more progress. They did that in a weekend.
Yeah, they did. They did like overnight.
So like,
Yeah, it happened while I was gone. Yeah. But I didn't know if anybody had.
I'm having read, I signed it.
yeah,
Awesome. That's the only thing I know.
probably.
Kramer is the last.
Probably on.
Any other questions or concerns?
I don't know. Even if you look at the bottom of it, I don't think there's anything way outstanding.
No, I appreciate the update that I had. That was the only question I had. All right. Anything else that we'd like to kick around that's not out on the agenda that you might want to be braced for next month?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Not, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
This is it. If he, I will make a motion to it.
On the other hand, I'll second that.
Josh seconds it. At 8:25. Thank you, everybody, and the existing crowd that's here, Colin, thank you. And Ricky, thanks for staying with us.
Are we gonna vote on it, Joe?
Oh, all those in favor, say aye. I'm sorry. Well done.